I'm excited to be welcome on a top 100 prospect in 2021, Keshon Gilbert. What's going on today, bro?
What up? What up?
Not much, man. Well, we're getting into obviously the big commitment. We already talked about that a little bit before, but you're back home now. Talk about the transfer decided to go out back home now.
It was just it's just a real good experience to be back home with my family and being on a bigger stage and just playing a lot of competition and being here so everybody else can see me where I'm from.
Without a doubt. And I mean, we know you're still committed to UNLV, but coming away now, kind of getting a year away from Nevada, away from Las Vegas, what's that going to be like?
It's definitely gonna be a. I got to grow up a little bit more. Stay out of the stay out of certain things and have my head on the right path and just focusing on isolating myself and just focus on me being a better me and being a better player on and off the court.
Let's kind of go through your high school career a little bit. I mean, just take us through your career to get to the point you're at now.
Well, my freshman year, I didn't I wasn't on varsity. I played JV. And, I was new to Vegas, so I had to. Well, I don't think I did that good my freshman year, honestly. But
Mm-hmm.
then my sophomore year, people started. I played varsity. I averaged like 20. People started seeing that I was, I had a chance to be good. Then my junior year, I led my team. Everybody knew I could actually be good. Like thought I could be good. My junior year, they knew it type thing. So just like, and then I'm gonna do even better this year.
That's big time. And you always mentioned how you went out to Nevada. That's where you kind of lived for your high school career. Why'd you originally decide to go out there for high school?
My mom, she just wanted to put us in a better environment, around better people. Just really that.
Gotcha. And so, I mean, you're at Durango, and as you said, you don't necessarily have the same story as a lot of the top guys. Some guys stay on varsity to go to guy from the beginning. You had to grind your way out to become where you're at today. Take us to
Mm-hmm.
kind of living the life as like what so many people can kind of relate to. What's it like kind of living that story out?
It's I feel like it's better than having everything easy for you because
Hmm.
that just make your story 10 times better when you get everything out the mud and you work for everything that you got. That just make your story 10 times better. So I feel like that it's better.
And you were able to cap off this past year with maybe one of the biggest wins of your career, the big upset win over Coronado. I mean, what went into that game? What was that like?
I already knew it was gonna be a good game. Jaden, he a real good player, so I knew we gonna have to fight for what we for the win. So it was a good game, real competitive. We both of us played hard and we just ended up on top.
And going into that game, we know you're a Division I player. Sebastian really earned his name in that game. We know a lot of guys like Tone on the team. But you're going up against a guy that some people a lot call possibly the number one overall player in 2021, top 50 guy in Jackson, guys like Felix that are great. What kind of was the mentality? How did you prepare for that much talent?
Just like any other game, like I don't really. He put his pants on just like me, so
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really. It ain't really nothing different, but it's just ain't nothing different. You just prepare how you prepare for any other game.
No doubt. And I just mentioned obviously the guy that really blew up that game, and people really all starting to know his name. That's Sebastian. Seeing him not take his next step the next couple of years, how excited are you for him to see what he can do?
I'm really excited because it's like my little bro. So I always tell him, give him advice. He got to lead, do this, do this, do that. So I think it's really gonna sink in this year since he don't got me there. So I'm really excited to see what he do.
And where do you kind of see him stack up in 2023? It's a loaded class. What's kind of the limit for him? Where do you see him going?
I don't see a limit. I don't see sky's the limit for that boy. He nice.
Absolutely. And as I said, you're coming back home now. You're going to a school that's been pretty much dominating St. Louis for a long time now. 16 state championships. What's it going to be like kind of carrying on that legacy now?
It's gonna be fun. I just want to get that feeling of being a part of like my city and just just doing big things out here. I just want to see how that feels. And obviously winning the state championship, I want to see how that feels too.
I kind of read about a story, and your brother obviously went here, and you kind of grew up shooting on the side, hit rims, kind of growing up watching him play. How'd you kind of fall in love with that? What was it like kind of growing up, having a sibling go through this whole high school process too?
It's just like I seen what he did and how hard he worked and what he had to do to get where he is. So I just took that and ran with it. Just worked 10 times harder, and
Mhm.
just did more because I know how hard it is. He told me all the time how hard it is in college, stuff like that. So it sank in with me to just work even harder.
And you're gonna be on a national schedule this upcoming year. That's one of the big things you talked about. How excited are you kind of be able to start traveling, be able to play some of the top teams in the country?
I'm real excited. It's just another opportunity for me to prove myself. It's nothing really, major. I just want to, it's just another opportunity to prove myself.
A lot of rankings put you in the top 200 pretty much everything. You are guys I even said before. I think you're a top 100 player. What do you think you need to do to start having rankings and people starting to really notice seeing how special you are?
I'm gonna just keep being me. I mean, keep doing me, keep working hard, and they can't ignore me for too long. You feel me? They can't
Mm-hmm.
they can't do it for too long. They got to wake up eventually.
And you're on this national stage now, one of, if not the go-to scorer, losing a guy in Cameron Fletcher next this year. How do you kind of plan to fill his role and become you? What do you think you're capable of doing this upcoming year?
Yeah, I think I'm able to do real big things. Because don't nobody really know me, so they just don't. Well, they know me, but they ain't seen me play in a while, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just gonna be like I just think I'm gonna do big things.
I mean, you mentioned about some of the big games. Probably Coronado was one of the biggest wins you had. Maybe your biggest game of your high school career so far was Canadian Classic, 43-point game in one of those games. What was going through your mind as you were able to put up a performance like that?
It's crazy. Tone couldn't play that game for some reason. I forgot what reason he couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I already told myself like I don't know why, but every time Tone don't play, like, I'll be going crazy for some reason. So yeah, that game he ain't play, and it was a real good team. So I told myself either we gonna stay in this game, or if I'm gonna keep us in the game, or we gonna get blew out. So I had to put the team on my back and do my thing. We lost. That's just crazy. We lost by like 3, but I did my thing.
You mentioned Tony's a guy I think is a really underrated guy. Where do you think what do you think he's able to do from here on out in terms of basketball?
Man, Tone got all the potential in the world. He do whatever he want to go, he can go. That's what I say.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, you look at your high school career to this point, pretty much two, like you said, varsity seasons. What was your favorite game of your career so far, though?
It was definitely I say favorite game. I'm probably just say the 43-point game. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite game. Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about your UNLV commitment. You were one of the first guys in the country for your class to commit. Why did you decide to commit so early to UNLV?
It was just a real family vibe. They was, it was more than basketball. I could tell it was more than basketball with them. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's always a good thing. They told me they was gonna do whatever they had to do to, keep me on the right track, keep my head right, and just, I don't know. That's a good city. I want to see, to show everybody what I got. Basically, that's really it.
And because you're transferring, you can read everywhere, obviously, I'm sure you've seen it, that a lot of people question, are you possibly going to reopen your recruitment on all that? Are you still committed 100% to UNLV to go there after the season?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. And part of that reason is you're going to be under a coach, Coach TJ. He was able to coach a lot of guys that weren't necessarily part of his recruiting class, who he brought in. And we saw what he was able to do last year. What's so special about Coach TJ?
He got that. Coach TJ, he definitely got that dog mentality, and I don't think a lot of coaches have that. A lot of coaches, they like to give the player. They like to give, and Coach TJ is all about earning. So if you get what you work for, you get what you know. So he brought that fire out of all his players. I feel like, and he brought that winning spirit out of all his players that they didn't really have before then.
And unless you're in that locker room, unless you talk to him on the phone, we obviously don't know exactly who he is as a personality. You go on your visits with him, you've talked to him. What's he like when you talk to him and just hang out with
Like one of my homies, to be honest,
him?
because that's how he act. Like one of my homies.
Mhm. That's awesome. And I mean, we look at down the roster, this 2020 squad, it might be a little rough at the beginning because there's pretty much an entire new roster in terms of a whole lot of guys. Nick, Jalen, Isaac, Donovan, Reese. I mean, the list goes on about this whole revamped roster. Hopefully they get some stuff settled by the time you get there. But when you do get there, how do you kind of plan to get into the system and what do you kind of expect for your freshman season?
Obviously, I want to, start, but it's just what do I plan on? I plan on, coming in and affecting the game on both sides of the floor right away. Getting in, just getting on the floor right away and impacting the game as soon as I get in, whether it's on the defensive or offensive.
Absolutely. And I mentioned a lot of the guys that they're bringing in this 2020 recruiting class. Are there any guys that you're in particular pretty close with?
Yeah, I'm close with Nick and Donovan. Yeah. I play AAU with Nick. And then Donovan, he lives in Vegas, so of course I'm gonna be close to him.
And you look at all these guys. I mean, Donovan's a guy that I don't think he's ranked in anything, but I think he's personally a guy that's at least a top 100, 150 player. Jalen's a top 100 guy. Nick's a top 100 guy in rankings as well. This is a lot of underrated kind of talent. What do you think they're going to be able to prove in this upcoming year, in this upcoming season?
They play like they got something to prove, so they never take games off. They never slack off. So they're gonna do something big for sure.
And when we look at you, you had a couple of offers before you made your commitment. I'm sure if you didn't make the commitment, you probably would have pulled in a lot more between last year, this past summer, and so on. I mean, is that something that you ever would consider possibly looking at other schools at that time? Did come if other schools, a bigger name, maybe probably looked into you?
Not really. I picked where I want to go, so I don't really trip off all that other stuff.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you look at just you're the first 2021 commit, and there's obviously some other guys that they're targeting. One is another Nevada guy, Zayon. What would it be like to possibly play with him and bring him into part of your 2021 class?
I think it'd be real fun because I played like pickup with Zayon. I don't know, it's just like we clicked together when we played together that one time. So I think it'd be real fun. We played the same, but we played different at the same time. But I think we play more alike, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. And UNLV made his top four alongside obviously three other schools. But in terms of you recruiting UNLV wise, how do you kind of making an approach? What's your recruiting ways of trying to get them to come?
I mean, I don't recruit them. I just be chilling. I don't really worry about everybody else. I just be focusing on me. I don't do all that.
Is there anyone else in the class that you're hearing that you guys might be targeting for your class?
Nah, not really.
For sure. And a couple of things before I let you go. One is you obviously want to be able to build a legacy for yourself before you move on past basketball someday in the future. What do you want that legacy to be for what you accomplished both on the court and what you accomplished back home in your community?
Definitely, I'd say I was a guy that, when I'm up, I get back to my community, show my face as much as I can and show kids that that you got to work hard for what for what you want, and everything ain't always given to you. And I want people to see me as like a guy that got it out the mud and did what he wanted to do, made his dreams come true.
And you mentioned the part about faith. That's the last thing I want to touch up on. How would you say God's helped get you to the point you're at today?
He helped me a lot because without him you can't do nothing. To be honest, you got to keep him in your life.
Couldn't agree more, man. And as you move up the levels, it's obviously going to be a bigger and bigger platform to be able to spread his word. How do you kind of plan to use his word and be able to spread it?
Just tell people, keep him in your life, keep him in your circle of life. Just keep faith, pray all the time, stuff like that.
Couldn't agree more, man. Well, I'm definitely excited to see what God's got next for you, man. Can't wait to see what you get done this upcoming year as well, bro.
Appreciate you.
Of course, man. You're always welcome on, man. God bless.
Yeah, you too.